together.
Fast forward to better TV.
Is
I
the
think
internet is maybe ready to.
JT's having a hard time getting in. I'm going to give him a call and see if we can figure it out.
Okay.
Or he can, there's a phone in number, right?
The other attorney.
You guess what Alan's gonna.
Alan, you should probably just phone in.
The other attorney.
He just said he was getting off to talk to JT, so
Yeah, you can call him.
he's out there to talk to. We had a thing we do with somebody else. Recently, but they were in the waiting room.
You're right, but we don't have
Yeah.
one, so they just have to go out and try to come back in.
Saw him when I first got here. We knew that he was in the right place. Natalie's cancer.
Thank you. There's still no Pam.
Pam's not coming on tonight.
On the $50.
Thank you.
There we go.
There we go.
Go ahead. Okay, I'd like to call to order this regular meeting agenda for the Fraser Park Public Utilities District. This is for Thursday, December 14th, 2023. We are starting this meeting at 6:07 p.m. And our first item is call to order, which is item number 1. We're going to do a pledge to the flag. Okay, ready? Begin.
Flag, United States of and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
Thank you. We'll do the directors now. Director Garcia.
Here.
Here.
Selling.
Here.
Director Gibson is absent. I'm Director Schoenberg, and I am present. Okay, so that's 4 out of 5 directors. Business should vote this agenda if necessary. Is there any discussion or need to adjust the agenda?
I don't think so.
Not unless you want to
Anything that needs to be tabled?
table, unless you want to table
You get table 24.
I got how many? Agendas.
So we could do that. Yeah, so I'll make okay, and the records retention policy
That's what it was.
on number 20. So I make a motion that we
Then 21 as well.
table 20, 21, and 24.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion before we take a vote? Okay, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent, Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that is 4-0-0 with 1 absence. We will be tabling motions, or items 20, 21, and 24. Okay, item number 3, public comments. This is for items not listed currently on the agenda. It's limited to 5 minutes. Thank you. Does anyone have a public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna move on.
Hi.
So item number 4.
Yes, this is Juan Carlos and Veronica. We have a comment in regards to eminent
Is this
domain.
an item not currently on the agenda?
I don't have the
Excuse me?
agenda in front of me. We don't have the agenda in front of us. I'm not sure if it's
I
on the
believe
agenda.
you're on the. What is it in regard to?
The eminent, the well for,
Eminent domain.
That is on the agenda. That is what I'm about to do right now.
okay,
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, so item number 4, was there any other public comments not on the agenda? Okay, moving on to item 4, public hearing, necessity to acquire property by eminent domain, and that's Kern County APN 255-320-28. And this is gonna be a public hearing. You do have a space on here, Veronica, for discussion that will come up. So I'm gonna go ahead and read from this. So we will now conduct the hearing of the Fraser Park Public Utility District for the purpose of considering whether to adopt a resolution of necessity authorizing the filing of an action to acquire interest in real property related to the district's planned well number 8. This hearing concerns interest in a parcel of land identified as Kern County Assessor's Parcel Number 255-320-28. Item 1, this hearing is being recorded. So that the recording is discernible, I ask that you please identify yourself for the record before speaking. I also ask that you please speak clearly and that only one person speak at a time. Item number 2, under the law of eminent domain in California, a public agency exercising its powers of eminent domain shall hold a hearing relating to the following 3 matters. Matter 1, whether the public interest and necessity require the project being the acquisition of interest in real property and the use of those interests for the construction, operation, repair, and maintenance of the district's well number 8. Matter 2, whether the project is planned or located in the manner that will be most compatible with the greatest public good and the least private injury. And matter 3, whether property sought to be acquired is necessary to the project. These are the only matters that will be considered at this hearing. Particularly, the board will not be considering what is appropriate, just compensation to be paid for the property interest. CNC Elite Properties LLC owns title to the property that is the subject of these proceedings. On November 21st, 2023, the CNC was provided written notice of today's hearing and the board's intention to adopt a resolution of necessity in accordance with the requirements of California's eminent domain law. The district timely received a request to appear at this hearing from Mr. J.T. Fox, who is present, counsel for CNC Elite Properties. Before proceeding with comments from district staff and consultants and any public comment that may be made, I am going to have the following exhibits made a part of the record and attached to the transcript. Exhibit A, April 28th, 2023, a notice of exemption. Exhibit B, September 2022, notice of intent to purchase the well site. Exhibit C, copies of email correspondence between representatives of the district and representatives of CNC Elite properties. Exhibit D, September 13th, 2023, offer letter from the district to CNC, including attachments. Exhibit E, letter from Attorney Fox to the district dated September 29th, 2023. Exhibit F, letter from the district's general counsel to Attorney Fox dated October 10th, 2023. Exhibit G, November 21st, 2023, notice of hearing from district to CNC Elite Properties. And Exhibit H, draft of the resolution of necessity that is before the board for approval and adoption. And all those I have in front of me. I will now turn the hearing over to Dee Jasper, the district's engineer consultant, who is going to describe the project and the district's need for the property interests that are the subject of this proceeding. Go ahead, Mr. Jasper.
Thank you. The district acquires water and distributes it to the district's customers within its service area using a series of groundwater wells situated throughout the district. Among these wells is well number 5, which the district constructed in 1965. Well number 5 was originally cased with thin wall steel to a depth of 600 feet and operated at a capacity of 450 gallons per minute until 2018, when the well's casing began to fail. Well number 5 was patched with steel, which preserved the well but reduced its production capacity to approximately 220 gallons per minute, and demonstrated the vulnerability of the casing to further problems and a likely failure of well number 5 in the foreseeable future. If well number 5 were to fail, the district's ability to provide water to its customers would be severely diminished. Well number 8 would operate at a capacity of approximately 500 gallons per minute. It would replace the production capacity furnished to the district by its existing well number 5. Well number 8 would operate in conjunction with the district's existing well number 6 to provide water supplies to the district's residential and commercial customers. The district has a water storage capacity of 2.41 million gallons. During peak demand, the district currently operates at a deficit of 168 gallons per minute, which provides the district approximately 8 days of operating at such capacity before its storage is depleted. If well number 5 becomes inoperable before well number 8 is constructed and commences operation, the number of days at which the district could operate at historical peak demand before its storage is depleted would be reduced by half to approximately 4 days. In light of the likelihood that well number 5 will fail and the degree to which the failure would limit the ability of the district to satisfy its water supply obligations to its customers, the project is necessary to enable the district to continue to satisfy its customers' residential and commercial water demands. The district has studied the proposed location for well number 8 extensively, including drilling and operating a test well near the proposed location. Based on these and other studies and tests conducted in the area, the district has determined that the hydrogeology and the quality of the groundwater make the proposed location the necessary location for well number 8. I have personally engaged in multiple discussions with representatives for the owner of the property regarding the district's need to acquire the interest in real property that are the subject of this proceeding, and was repeatedly informed that they were not interested in negotiating the sale of such interest. The district's board of directors therefore authorized the district's general counsel to proceed with efforts to acquire the property interest in lieu of eminent domain. Those efforts were likewise unsuccessful. It is in light of the foregoing that the district's board of directors is undertaking consideration of a resolution of necessity to acquire real property interests for the construction, operation, repair, and maintenance of District Well Number 8. Madam President, that concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Mr. Jasper. Okay, I'm just gonna remind everyone that the recording is on and that you need to identify yourself, please, for the record. Speak clearly with only one person at a time. I will be first addressing the board and then other representatives. And also that we're only considering 3 matters. So if we go outside of those 3 matters, I'm going to, if it goes on, I'm going to ask you to come back to the 3 matters at hand, which are, which I read, which is this in the public interest and necessity to require the project, which is District Well Number 8, whether the project is planned or located in a manner most compatible with greatest public good and least private injury, and whether property sought to be acquired is necessary to the project. So at this time, I'm going to address the board first. Do any members of the board of directors have questions for the staff or comments regarding this matter?
No.
Okay, hearing none. I am going to ask, do any representatives of the landowner, which is to be heard regarding the 3 issues that are subject to this hearing, have any anything that needs to be heard?
I first, this is JT Fox. I'm the attorney for the landowners. And I just had a few comments before my clients speak. And I can go very quickly here. And I just wanted to address some of the, or at least address the board with, and responding to a few of these issues. You know, we've informally discussed this matter with the water district and council for water district. And I think the one thing that concerned me is that we proposed multiple different sorts or types of accommodations that could be made for the property owner, because our position was that this was very obstructive to our clients or my client's desired use of the property. And I didn't understand why the well itself couldn't be relocated to a certain portion of their property. I was very disheartened to hear that there were, we had proposed that access come from the side of the property and not the front of the property. And honestly, the excuse that I was given made absolutely no sense to me, you know, after having looked at an aerial, you know, footage of the property. It was just like we were talking to a wall. We even asked if the driveway could be relocated. And it wasn't even an issue of the water district's expense at that point. What we were told is, you know, something to the effect that that the county wouldn't approve it. And then we were told that I think somebody was going to have somebody look into it. It was just very disheartening when you try to mediate an issue and you propose multiple, which I thought were very reasonable accommodations or accommodation requests, and they just fell on deaf ears. And it just seemed like the water district had already made its decision, and it was just incredibly disheartening. And you know what's really interesting, I just heard something in the beginning of this session that actually kind of raised my eyebrow. So my understanding is that the water district found its location for the well. I mean, it's set in stone as far as I know. And then I think in the beginning of this meeting, I heard the words that the test well was completed near the location for well number 8. So, you know, I just wouldn't understand why the well couldn't actually be placed in a different location on my client's property. And what we were trying to stress to the district was that we even presented architectural drawings of what my client is intending for this property. This is their dream property, their dream ranch. They've been in, you know, they've worked very hard. They've saved their money. They bought this property. This is they're living their dream, and they have dreams to build this beautiful front entrance to the ranch. And this would completely obliterate any sort of entrance like this. And it's just that's just my sentiment, is that it's very unfair, and nobody's listening to their concerns. Nobody from the water district is making any sort of accommodations, and it's all about necessity, and they have to have this well. There wasn't, we've proposed having the water district used land across the street from the front of their property, not more than 70 feet away, and that was a problem. So I would just ask the district, I know my clients are well versed in this, and I'll let them speak, of course, but those are just my initial thoughts, is that it's just been a very disheartening process so far. And I hope that the district would, before they take a vote or make a decision as to whether this is, as you put it clearly, you were going to decide whether or not, or propose a resolution of necessity here, is to consider the accommodations that we proposed. And some of these questions were left open-ended. We don't have answers from our last meeting. We were told that we were going to get answers to possible accommodations, and we still don't have answers. Anyways, that's it. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to allow my clients to speak at this point. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam President, this is Alan. I'd like, if you would like to hear how the conversations actually went, I'd be happy to respond to council's comments.
Yes, please. Could you respond?
Yeah, I'd just like to let the board know that concerns did not fall on deaf ears. We did say we would be looking into various matters and alternatives. D in particular was going to follow up on a potential driveway relocation, and told everybody on the call that he would be traveling in the week that has intervened between this meeting and our last conversation. We said that we were open to alternatives, but that we have been at this for a long time, and that the district could no longer afford to wait and have this strung out, that the landowners knew that this was happening before they bought the property, and that the many twists and turns of the district's attempts to get this well, which is necessary for the district's ability to serve lands, including CNC's property, it can't wait any longer, and that we were going to proceed, and that we were always open to settlement discussions, but that because of how long this has gone on, those would have to take place as part of the litigation. I'm very discouraged to hear that the sense that landowners and council got from what I thought was a very cooperative and good faith conversation was that things were falling on deaf ears. That was not my takeaway from that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Would the landowners like to further speak on this matter?
Hi, yes, my name is Veronica Alcaraz Salcido, and I'm the owner for the member for CNC and the owner for the property at 3344 Fraser Park. And just on the three topics that were discussed, I would like to just put on record that we do object to, and we would like to see a little bit more time to be able to discuss some of our concerns, like mentioned before. One of them is that we would like to be able to receive more information and documentation, right, to be able to explain how this well would be able to help the public interest or the need. Because so far, all we've heard is from people saying that there is a public interest and need for this well, but yet no information has been provided or documentation. Number two, no accommodations have been made we mentioned the entryway, but I also would like to mention that we have animals that are on the property, and we brought up the well-being, the security, and the safety of our animals. And sorry, and that also has not been addressed. We have privacy concerns for how many times are going to be needed to go in to service the well daily and on a yearly basis. We also and would like to put on record that we we believe that this well will create a big encumbrance to our land, and it will potentially harm the existing well we have. There is already an easement on the side of a property and across the street from the property. Again, when we've asked for different ways that we can come up with ideas to work on this together, we really haven't had any success. And I am concerned for the district to take this to litigation, because I know he mentioned that these are things that we can discuss during litigation, but I feel like there's going to be resources and monies that are going to have to be spent during litigation. And if we prolong it by getting these questions answered or asked during it, I do feel like it's going to be a waste of money and time and resources. So that's not in the public's interest. So that's just my comment. I will pass it over to Mr. Salcido.
Yeah, hi, my name is Juan Carlos Salcedo, and also Veronica is my wife for CNC Elite Properties. So my concern is that, like council said, we got notice before we bought a property. We know all these things, which is false unless he sends me a letter before we bought the property and saying that these things are happening. What happened, it was when we purchased the property, there was already going to do a test well, and we didn't know about it until we dig. We allow them to do a test well while reserving our rights. And then before they were entering the property, they were already telling me that it was already their property because it was eminent domain. So which already, that was Johnny Allen, I think that's his last name, and D. Jasper, which I think this is a personal matter, not a district, which if we're going to protect our land, we're going to fight all the way, because we're not giving any respect. As we said, why don't you go across the street, which is 100 feet away? And all he said, D. Jasper said, oh, it's contaminated, which is going to be contaminated 100 feet away. Are you a super expert that you struck gold there? The pinpoint? You got all this water now? No, there's millions of acres around there. Why are we getting picked on? And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Are there, before I ask if there are any other comments on that from those who have already spoken, are there currently any members of the public which wish to speak on this matter who have not already spoken?
Madam President, Alan again, if I may. I'd like to.
You may.
Yeah, I'd like to confirm that when the district sent its letter notifying the landowner, providing the offer required under the eminent domain law, the initial offer, there's a deadline for a response of September 29th. We received a response by the deadline from counsel for the landowner asking for documentation, which we provided. It includes studies, it includes the notices of exemption under CEQA that all spell out why exactly what the necessity is for the project. And That's in addition to our correspondence, which explains why this well is necessary. And I was on the call with the landowners and with council, where Dee went to great lengths to explain why this location is the location. And I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, once again, I'm just gonna call for if there are any additional members of the public that wish to speak on the matter. Or anyone else who needs to speak on the matter before I close the hearing.
Yeah, this is Carlos, the CNC
Okay,
Elite Properties.
hearing none?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, one more last thing, right? Because so this is Juan Carlos Saucedo with CNC Elite Properties. So yes, so the board knows that we gonna fight this all the way, and every single cent that we spend, and if the water district is not successful, they're gonna be entitled to pay me all my money expenses back. So yes, so that way they know what they're heading into. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for your participation. I'm gonna now close, unless there's anything further, I will now close this hearing. And the board will proceed to item number 5, which is the resolution. Consideration of adoption of the resolution of necessity. So at this time, I am going to, one last chance for anything else, and otherwise I'm going to close this matter and move on to item number 5. Okay, so I'm closing the hearing, the public hearing, and we are now moving on to item 5, discussion vote on resolution FP 2023-1214-01, authority for action in eminent domain to acquire fee simple interest in real property for public utility district purposes.
Says acquired interest.
Here, so I'm going to, it looks like we have a difference on the resolution itself, so let me grab the resolution and read specifically.
Do you want me to read the resolution? We will need to read the.
There's no need to do that if you don't want to take the time.
Okay, does the board feel like we would like to take the time to do that? Our attorney says that there isn't a need to read it if we do not want to read it. The only thing is that I would put into the record the actual wording, since the wording of the item on the agenda differs from the resolution. If you want to read the actual wording.
Yeah, it's for the Board of Directors of the Frazier Park Public Utility District, resolution number FP-20231-214-01 in the matter of authority for action in eminent domain to acquire interest in real property for public utility district purposes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so at this time, I will, we can have discussion after any motion that is made. I will entertain a motion for the specific resolution that we're talking about.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number FP-2023-1214-01 in the matter of authority for action in eminent domain to acquire interest in real property for public utility district purposes.
Okay, and do I hear a second on this resolution?
I'll second that. The only thing I would suggest that we need to do.
Okay, wait a second. You seconded it. She's got it.
Okay.
Okay, so at this time, we can take any discussion on the matter before it's brought to a vote. We do have a motion and a second, so the matter is on the floor.
We just need to replace Rebecca Gibson's name on it, to sign it.
So one of the issues on this is that we do not have the board presidents. I am actually the vice president currently, and I'm not, looking at that right now. It's in here somewhere, so it's
Okay, I will amend the motion, in resolution number FP 2023121-01 in the matter of authority for action in eminent domain to acquire interest in real property for public utility district purposes, that we make the correction of removing Rebecca Gibson as president, and we authorize the vice president, Lisa Schoenberg, to sign the resolution upon approval.
Okay, that's a friendly amendment.
I accept that amendment.
Okay, so right now we have a motion and a second. Again, is there any discussion on this matter? Before I bring it to a roll call vote. Okay, then I will bring it to a roll call vote. Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is in agreement as an aye. And so that is 4-0-0 with one absence. The motion in front of us passes. So that resolution is passed. And we will move on to item number 6. Okay,
But
report of officers.
will the board need me for anything further?
No, well,
I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be discussed before we move on to item 6.
Not with regard
I
to
would say,
items 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'm assuming we
okay,
can,
then
we
I
can
would
leave the
say,
meeting.
no. Yes,
Okay,
thank you for your participation.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that's a tribute to Mr. Dow.
Okay, all right. Thanks all. If I don't talk to you before then,
Thank you
Mary,
very much.
take care.
Yes, have a
Merry
good holiday.
You too.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to item number 6. Item number 6 is report of officers. So we're going to start with the report of the president. The president is not here. She's absent. Report of the vice president. I don't have, I think, anything specific. I did sign some items over the last period for the president. They were amended and I did sign them. So, the secretary.
I came in to sign 7 different legal minutes and different things that need to be signed, so I took care of that today.
Okay, the treasurer.
okay, I made a transfer from the Lake of the Woods. We received from claim, I think it was 34. We received the $11,810 from the previously paid Stanley Hoffman invoice, and I made a transfer from the planning account to the SLA account. And because that's where the money originally came out of. Then I also made a transfer from the Lake of the Woods planning account to the revenue operating account for $366.66. That was board fees from claim 34. Also, I made a transfer from the Lake of the Woods planning account to the revenue operating account for $65. And that was for staff recovery from claim number 34. Then I also made a $200. We had received a new connection deposit of $200 that was in the revenue operating account, and so I made a transfer to the distribution system emergency reserve account.
Okay, and that was $200 that had exceeded the 6-month waiting period. So that was $200 that
I,
was
We don't know,
forfeited.
that's
I-
something you have to tell us.
That's the front desk tracks it.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I know-
Deborah,
So that is something, Deborah, that we just need to make sure of, that, that the money that we deposited, the $200 was post the 6-month waiting period, to make sure that that was supposed to be deposited.
Well, that $200
How does she
belonged to the
track that?
same account for the, that we received $8,800 for the new connection. It was the same customer.
Oh, there is a new connection attached to it, then yes, then that is correct.
Yes.
The thing is that from the house that was built, that we finally,
Yeah.
Okay,
finally.
so then what happens is, if that $200 is then, if a new connection fee is then paid, then that 200 becomes part of that.
I wasn't aware that they actually paid for the
Yeah.
service. That was good.
Okay. Okay, great, thank you for
That's
that
what
information,
Thank
Deborah.
you.
Okay.
Okay, and, I have another question for the treasurer. We had talked about the general fund and, money being put back into the general fund. Is any of that?
we hadn't discussed it in the board.
It's agenda.
It's on the agenda, so we'll talk about
We
it.
started discussing that, we put it on the agenda, okay, great. Okay, and, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, our JPIA representative.
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions from anyone? If not, I'll move on to item number 7. Okay, item number 7, board member initiatives. Do we have any board member initiatives? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna move on to item 8, the manager's report.
We, yeah, been pretty busy. We had only 2 guys in the field again. We had to respond to the sanitary survey from the state. Get it in by today, I believe, or tomorrow. They have things on it like they want, the leaks in our tanks fixed, and they want the graffiti covered up on the tanks, and they wanted some barbed wire fixed, and just really extravagant amount of stuff this time to deal with. Luckily, Corey stepped up. He really helped me out a lot. He even got the report submitted for me when I was sick. I wanted to commend Tiffany too. She's been pulling double duty, front desk and back here, and doing that grant, doing all that stuff. Right now, the water company, just everybody's working together really well. Thankfully, we have a great crew right now. Been real busy, but got a handle on all of it, and everything seems to be moving forward fine.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you both. So you're saying that the state was asking us for things that are not completely water related?
Well, I mean, I was just asking, I don't know what is considered, I mean, their domain really is whatever they want it to be in the water system. So you gotta comply, but, I just found it ironic that they wanted the tanks painted, the graffiti covering the tanks to be painted over. But that's something that I gotta address, and, they give you a timetable of when they wanted stuff finished. So I told them that we're in the process of working on it. It's remarkably hard to get a tank company to want to come up or even return phone calls or emails over something small in this day and age. But I got a guy come tomorrow to look at it and tell us what he thinks about fixing a leak that we got at 4th Street again. We've had a leak on Wolf Tank since the guy from T-Mobile hit the hose bib, and we had to have a wooden plug shoved in from the inside. Ultimately, that needs a new bulkhead fitting put on. But the only way to do that is to drain the tank and then go inside, disinfect it, and do all that. And I don't see how we could do that effectively right now. Maybe when we're doing mainline replacement and we have to do a shutdown, maybe we could coordinate a tank repair at that time. I was going to get with Dee about that, but it's just it's been a few weeks of really knuckling down and trying to get all this stuff done for them in time, but we've done it. So everything's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 8B, the administrative, are there any other questions for, General Manager Allison before I move on? Okay, item 8B is the administrative assistance report.
Everything has an agenda item.
Okay. So hearing nothing else there, item 9, standing committee reports. I'm gonna start with the accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, we asked Deborah to cut the checks, and she did,
And
and
I have a couple things to talk about it during the
during
financials.
Okay, and the state update meeting.
Hasn't happened this week, next week.
Okay. Item, moving on to item 10, the ad hoc committee reports. So start with the project committee.
We haven't met.
Okay. Item, the financial committee.
we finished and we're not meeting until January. February,
Oh,
March.
that would be quarterly. Quarterly's not meeting till January.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a very, brief meeting that happened just to,
to go over some of the audit stuff.
right, to go over some questions about
About
the
the
audit.
audit. We did that, yes.
That happened already.
Yeah.
And, so the audit is, in process, both audits.
Yes.
Okay, the generator pad construction.
And the auditors have everything they need at this point?
That's something we'll have to ask Deborah when she comes on.
Deborah's
Yeah.
here, but we can ask for that in the financials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generator, pad construction committee has gone a different direction based on us getting, plans and specs from the engineer and putting, the project out to bid. It meant that we were gonna have to have the whole bid process and incur a lot of costs for running that full operation in such a small project. So what we decided to do is to go a less intrusive direction that will be able to be handled by the staff that we have, which means when we have some sort of a big timber border, maybe railroad ties, something of that nature, that'll be anchored into the surrounding soil, big to the size that's capable for handling our platform area, a working area around the generators, and that will all be gravel filled. So that's all stuff that we can do with our equipment, our manpower, and stay out of those money spending, going out to bid practices we've had to do for the larger projects.
Okay, so we will not be pulling in anyone outside of the company to do this.
That's correct. I still may be involved with,
All we have to do is rent a lift in church.
no, I was gonna understand, maybe involved laying out, doing the border and perimeter, but once that's in and leveled and secured, filling them with gravel is a no-brainer.
How will you be doing the laying out of the border perimeter? That won't be you'll be supervising or that?
Yeah, just like
Supervising our staff to do that.
right. That's all I have for now.
Plan on getting the ties and stuff like that to do that.
Like I said, sanitary survey took priority since we don't even have the rest of the orders from
Load
yes, rentals, the load banks. But now get the lift and start trying to place them at sites, at the different sites and stuff. So I just had not focused on that right now.
Well, don't we need to do the borders and have that there before?
Technically, we don't even have to do borders. Technically, we just set them on the ground on a gravel bed. But we're gonna try to make it look a little more professional than that. They got the railroad ties at Ace.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is we should put those up first before we rent a lift so that we can place them in place at the time. So we're not
Obviously.
well, I'm just,
Yeah,
you know,
obviously, that's how we're
yeah,
gonna do
I'm just want clarification.
Yeah. One thing at a time. Yeah, but that's gonna save us a ton
Hello.
of money right now.
I lost my audio.
We can hear you, Deborah. You may want to mute.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
She's next.
Are there any other questions for general manager or our assistant? Okay, so I'll move on to item 11. So we weren't even on one. We were on the ad hoc. Any other questions for the ad hoc committees? My apologies. Okay, so item 11, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. That is you, Deborah, so disregard you saying to mute. You're up, Deborah.
I'll text her, she said.
She said that she was having a problem.
She was, heard her say, I'm having audio problems.
Oh.
Yeah, she
And
couldn't
then all of a
hear.
sudden, she's not.
Oh, her speaker that she's using stopped working.
Oh. Tell her to
Uh,
take she wants, because we can hear her.
Should I tell her just to go ahead?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll follow along with the totals and checks and that.
And I guess you'll have to text her our question.
All right.
Lost her entirely.
Oh, shit. Yeah. She's
okay, well, I
I'm
guess,
gonna entertain a motion to move this further on in the agenda for the moment.
or I can just go over the
The amount.
amounts. That's what she normally does.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, the extraordinary, the total.
I'll go
total
ahead.
amount-
And speak, but I.
There you are. In and out. In and out. Out.
So
Anyways, we,
just
There you
nod
go.
if
Go
you
ahead.
can hear me. Okay,
Hey.
so we issued one check from the meter well for $1,854.68. Jasper. We issued 4 checks for a total of $20,119.04. There was one extraordinary disbursement in the amount of $17,385.64 for claim 34 to Jasper. And then there were
Deborah, it's very
35
difficult
checks
to hear you.
issued out of the revenue operating account for a total of $49,657.41. The extraordinary disbursement included the JPIA employee benefit for $8,242.63. There was a disbursement to Badger Daylighting Corp for $4,258.29. Where am I? Oh, that's not right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I lost my place. There was a disbursement to the auditor for $4,400. And then the Johnny's Visa was $3,077.91. There was a disbursement to Ferguson for $3,735.19. A disbursement to Hatch for $3,026.88. Our Edison bill was $6,909.63. And then the state compensation work comp was $2,161.75.
okay, thank you, Deborah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
So, we did have a question. Beeline Sales, there was, $1,587.18. That was, chlorine tanks for well 5 and 6. So we need to do that as an asset. So the question was, we create a new asset for it, or how are we gonna classify that?
Should just be classified as site.
Right now, we have each site as its own, specific items. So if this is a chlorine tank for well 5 and a chlorine tank for well 6, or they,
Yeah, well, there's one at each site, but the
but
total
they're each
cost,
less than 1,500? I mean, the total cost is
1,500, yeah.
What are the items individually? Because I don't think we've been doing the chlorine.
We haven't.
We haven't been listing.
What was it,
those.
remember? I don't remember the name of it.
No, well, we just, that's brand new of something that Johnny did to put
Well,
out the
I
site.
have to replace the ones that we got because now the state has us doing a chlorine log that we have to be very specific in our dosage calculations, and you can't see through the regular containers to be able to tell where the line is to get gallons. All these years, they've been happy with looking, yep, looks like 3 gallons. You write it down, they're not happy with that anymore, so we had to buy new storage tanks.
But how much are these a piece?
You'd have to look at the invoice.
What?
You have
what
the
was name?
invoice there.
I can't
It's
remember.
Beeline sales.
Beeline sale. It's in there.
I know it's in here. We looked at it.
They're not $1,500, I know that.
Yeah, it looks like they're both under $1,000.
Yeah, it's
so
$1,500
I
total.
think it would not be, an asset.
Okay, so can you text her and tell her that,
I'm gonna call her and put her on speaker.
Yes.
okay, yeah, why don't you do that? It's even better.
Because all the other chlorinators you have not, we've just been putting them in as part of the distribution
Hey,
system.
Deborah, I'm gonna put you on my speakerphone so you can talk to the board. Okay, hold on.
So Deborah, there was a question that came up in regards to the chlorinators being reclassified, recategorized. But because they are each less than $1,000, the total is 1,500 for 2. In the past, all the chlorinators and other things that had to do with chlorination, we have put under distribution system maintenance. And so I don't think they would actually be an asset as they're both worth less than $1,000 each. So even though they're lumped together here, they're not really
Over 1,000.
over 1,000.
So we'll just expense them to distribution. As 51,025.
For the Beeline,
That's for the Beeline, yes.
okay, so it's gonna go to distribution maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the other thing, that I wanted to just let you know, we reclass there, we got a bill from Kern County. It says the state service charge oversight, and they charge us $10. So I had her classify that to, license fees and permits. Because I don't even know what that bill is about. It seems like but she hadn't found anything where we paid, because they gave us 2 on there, was supposed to be, the one account would have been $10 less, so I assume it's for that, but I don't see where we had a permit fee that we paid for that, so anyways. So we did that. Now, I did have a question on the bank card. I'm just curious, on the water, why we bought 84 cases?
Because I'm surprised you don't remember. This is like the 3rd year in a row that I bought a pallet at a time, instead of buying a case here, a case there, a Dollar General.
So 84 cases is 1 pallet.
It's 1 pallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only concern is that we use it up before, I mean, because water generally, you keep longer than 6 months.
Last year, easy.
So
we're in the business of keeping water safe.
Okay.
We'll be good.
Okay.
Can you find it cheaper?
No. I've checked Costco, everything, but there's such a tiny markup on case of water that it's really just a thing to just get people in the door. This CRV costs the same no matter where you buy it at.
Right. Well, yeah.
So, and when we have people out of water, you know, I like to give, when we can, when it's not 700 people, I like to be able to offer them a case of water here and there to keep them in water. So we've done it a few years in a row now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, because it's not worth the,
What it cost a pallet?
it's $7.78 a case. But even if you bought it at, it's $4 or so. So even that, I mean, it's like you save $300, but you're gonna have to cart it. You're gonna have to, then the cost of the gas.
Yeah, see, like at Costco, you get it for $4 a case, right?
Right.
But then that's not including the CRV.
Well, yeah.
The CRV brings it up drastically, so you're not saving $300. It's a lot less. than that.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
20, or,
84.
no,
What's that? 24.
24.
There's 24 in a case.
Yeah, 24.
yeah. That's what I said.
So, I mean, theirs is 40 in a case, so, you know, I don't know. It's just something to look
So what
at.
pallet cost us?
$654. So, and then I had one other comment, which is, I was just wondering, we replaced a battery for one of the trucks. And was there a reason why we didn't just buy the battery?
Yeah.
And then do it ourselves?
Absolutely, because we've been having a draining issue on one of the trucks. Had it down to 2 different mechanics multiple times why the battery was draining. So took it to a place in Bakersfield that was supposed to specialize in that. He still couldn't find anything wrong, and he ended up putting the battery in it, and that's why it cost us $400.
Right, I was just saying, because we paid $187 for labor that, you know.
Well,
I wouldn't think that we would normally do that.
No, they were
That's why
trying
I'm
to
bringing up
diagnose,
the question.
an issue if the truck was, it started off if the truck sat over the weekend and had to be dumped.
Right,
And Jeff tried to fix it, we put batteries in it. I suspect it has something to do with when the light bars were put on or the radios, something. So finally, I was just at a loss and I figured I'd take it to a supposed expert on what's wrong.
yeah.
Came up with nothing.
So we'll just see how
Still
long
having to
this
jump it
battery
every month?
lasts.
Oh, since they put the brand new battery in, it's been working good now.
Yeah,
It got to the point where I made it for the last 2 or 3 months, they were jumping it every morning.
oh, wow.
How old was the battery?
Well, see, and that's part of my further issue is, I know that we have replaced that battery. Me and Corey are both convinced of it, but the date was old, like 3 years old. So I don't know if the last time we bought a battery from Napa, it was an old battery when we got it, or we're mixing up the trucks in our minds, because 3 identical Toyotas that we all rotate, it's hard to keep track of. So when we realized that was an issue, we got a service log for each truck
Yeah,
that we keep track of.
Now, yeah.
Well, yeah, I've tried to implement that several times, but as you know, some of the field personnel left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, no.
Keeping up on that, so now I got people that are gonna do it again, so we can keep track of that stuff.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So, if nobody else has any other questions.
So I'm just gonna, tell you on Beeline, the, actual tanks themselves were $390 each, and then there's a whole lot of fittings.
Yeah.
So that was a maintenance.
Yeah. Okay, so if there isn't any other, I will make a motion that we pay our bills.
I will second that motion.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we'll call directors. Director Garcia.
Aye.
Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is an aye, and that is 4-0-0 with 1 absent. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. See you next week.
Thank you.
No, you're fine. Thanks,
You're good.
Deborah. It happens.
Thank you for the cookies.
Thank you for the cookies, yes.
Ugh.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, so item number 12, a discussion vote on replenishing the general fund.
Well, the question is on replenishing that.
With what?
Where are we gonna get the money from?
I suggested that it shouldn't have been necessarily dipped into because normally we repay it. So what we were doing, what did we take it? We took it out of the capital improvement? What were the items that we took out of it?
No, we took out to pay our bills, to pay our tax and the loan, our grants we had to pay. And so we took money out to put into the general fund, into the revenue operating.
Okay, so normally we've taken back out of the revenue operating to replenish it.
But we don't have,
However, I think that what the discussion was last time was that we're already at like over $1 million in the capital improvement fund, and if we can't pay back out of the operating revenue, then I think we're taking too much out at a time into the capital improvement fund.
well, right now we're doing $20,000 a month into the long term. So if you want to reduce that by like 5,000 and maybe put 15 in the capital reserve and put 5 back into the general fund, we can start doing that. But we don't have enough. We don't have enough money. We're running very short. But like even after all these bills, as of Tuesday, we only had like about $60,000 left in the revenue operating account. And that's, I mean, of course, that's before we're going to get more money coming in next week.
Yeah, we've got more bills going on.
But we've got more bills going out next week, so.
Suggestion would be that we are over the amount that they initially suggested on our Prop 218. The last Prop 218, I don't know about a future Prop 218, but we should look at what that exact amount was and maybe stop putting the money.
Well, no, because we are going to be paying out of the long-term asset account, probably $150,000 out of that, which will put us under that amount for the generators for the bank load, because we still haven't paid the rest of the money to what is it? PTS rental. So there's 150,000 right there.
That should come out of aren't those short-lived assets or not?
I don't know if we got enough in the short-term assets to pay
Well,
that.
I think we have, what, about 260 in?
The last 25 years. So I don't know.
So they're long-term.
Yeah, so that's 150 grand coming out of there. And then, you know, we have to keep in mind, you know, there's some other things we're gonna have to be doing coming up.
Issue is that that's.
But Lisa, if we have to do something with we're gonna have to do something with the tanks and stuff, and if
I
we
understand
don't,
all that.
and then you're gonna wipe, that whole fund is gonna be wiped out.
We gotta do the
Right,
ties
but
and
the general fund is not normally accounted for to just pay our normal operating costs. So if you're paying normal operating costs out of the general fund, there's a problem.
Well, that general fund was there before we wait a second, before we did the grants. And that was also, I've heard it many times, that we used that to supplement the revenue operating fund. And we have in the past paid it back. So I'm making a suggestion, or maybe you want to split it. Maybe we do 10 grand to the long term and 10 grand to the general fund for this next, let's say this next year or something, and then revisit it and see where we're at. Because my concern is that we're going to deplete the long term, and that at some point, with all the other things that I can't even think of right now, because I know we have so many things happening, that we're going to wipe that fund out, and we're not going to have any long term money, you know.
Right, but my concern is that not accounting for money being borrowed out of the general, I mean, I agree with you, I think that that might be a solution. I'm just saying that money should be, that if we are borrowing from a fund that isn't the operating revenue fund, that there's a problem. So that's why we always reimburse it, it's like a
Right, but
short-term
we
thing.
also have corrected what we weren't doing before. We're putting 13 grand a month from the revenue operating into the USDA payment account to cover for our yearly interest and our loan principal.
Plus, we're trying to just get through this period of, financial instability in the world where we're paying 3 and 4 times what we were ever paying for anything when they did that rate.
Yeah,
stuff. So
well, yeah,
that's a huge part of the problem.
I mean,
You're
we
paying-
are getting
when
a
you're paying
small,
when you're
small
paying
rate
$300
increase.
for a meter that cost us 70, that's a big difference in operating costs for everything, and there's no way the rate study could have foreseen that.
No.
Yeah, I understand all that, I'm just saying that taking money from a fund that is, so I think that you should try to replenish that fund to the original 219 or whatever it was. But you can do it a little bit at a time, but I think it should come back because that's not normally accounted for, and so there's issues, so when it's accounted for in the operating revenue, we need to make sure that the next Prop 218, that they're understanding that we're dipping into this other fund.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I mean, there's gonna have to be, because of so much inflation over the last 2 years, it has killed us.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if we would have accounted for, you know, what, 10 and 15%, you know, inflation, we would have actually probably raised the rate for consumption.
On a side note too, since this is financial, the auditor, today I was talking to him, he asked about future financial plans, whatever I mentioned about the standby fee. And he kind of chuckled and said, yeah, he doesn't know any water districts that charge so little
Oh,
for the
yeah.
standby fee. So
That's insane.
so when we do that, increase that.
Right,
it's gonna
and
help our
we're
finance
waiting
out a
on
lot.
Carlos for that.
But yeah, I'm just saying because at last I looked in the general fund, I think it was at 50,000, so
Yeah.
150 under at least.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean,
Which we use
my
it for
suggestion is
operating
we
revenue.
split that in half.
Yeah.
Put 10 grand. If you guys wanna direct me, I'll put 10 grand in the long-term asset, 10 grand to the general fund for the next year. Or just set it as ongoing, and then in a year from now, when we get to the 200,000, we can revisit it and then maybe change it back to putting it to the.
At 10 grand, we're not gonna get to the 200,000, so.
Will be a lot.
Right, but what I'm saying is we'll be monthly, we'll be replenishing 10 grand and over time, then when we get to where we feel comfortable, then we can start putting it all back into the long-term assets. Yeah. Is everyone in agreement with that?
I'll entertain a motion to that.
I'll make a motion that we change the long-term asset from 20 grand a month down to 10 grand, and that we put 10 grand a month to the general fund.
To replenish it.
To replenish it for the money that we have taken from it.
Second that.
Is there any other discussion on that? Okay, a roll call of directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent, Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 4-0-0, 1 absent. Okay, item 13, discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake in the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. 13A, discussion vote review of the project timeline and extension. Right now, there are no changes on that, correct? Okay, so item 13B, discussion vote on the budget adjustment.
Before you move on about the changes, did you guys see the email from Lawrence where he wanted some questions answered? On the
No, I
timeline?
didn't see that. When
Yeah.
did he send an email?
Let me check real quick. I think he sent it either yesterday or today.
Who did that go to, Carlos?
It went to a few of us. Let me check. I know it went
think it
to
went to
D.
me.
What kind of questions?
It went to me too, but it was mostly, stuff for D.
yeah, that's what I was thinking is mostly D stuff. He sent it on the 13th, which was yesterday. So he sent it to Johnny and fppud1@gmail.com. Is that Johnny still? So I guess he
It's
just
the
sent it
company.
to, well, he sent it to the company, he sent it to myself and he sent it to D Jasper. And basically he says, can you please help me update these estimated dates highlighted for the routing planning agreement by the end of day Thursday?
Oh, well, guess not.
And so he has project management, administration and legal, test wells, engineering report, and that's it. So he wanted to know, he wanted updates on the highlighted ones, which was project management, administration and legal. It had August of 2023. So he wanted that one changed. And test wells, he had September 2023, which that is complete. So I don't know what. And then engineering report, September of 2023, which is the final engineering report.
September of 23? That's already gone.
I
Yes,
thought we
those are the
looked at all
dates.
those.
I
I'm
thought
confused.
that there was a extension that was filed already, so I didn't know how to answer this. So
There was, and we were told by Lawrence that we weren't to change any of the other dates until a further point, when, and I can't remember what that was when something else, so I'm a little confused because
No,
we had
but-
looked at that timeline. I had some issues with the timeline, but he told us that
But
nothing was
I
going
think
to
you're
change.
I think you're talking about the meter replacement one, right? That you had issues with.
No, I had issues with both. I had issues with this
Okay.
one as well. You're talking about the consolidation, correct?
Yeah, this is for the consolidation. Yeah, so
We approved
We
something,
have an extension.
we approved an extension that was 6 months. And he didn't want, we wanted to go out further, and he said to
No,
leave it as is. And that we would revisit it.
That was a meter project.
Meter project.
That extension was for the meter
I
project.
thought there was also an extension on
Yeah,
the.
all he said it was under review.
Which has been under review forever, and he said that could take 6 months.
Yeah,
yes,
I thought we were making changes, but now he's asking us for the changes. So, I mean, obviously the September 2023 for the engineering report is not correct. And the other one, the test wells, is correct because that's
It's done.
long done. So that one's fine. And what was the third item?
I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know.
either.
the first one was project management, administration, legal, MOU draft interconnection, LAFCO, MSR, all that good stuff, and that.
The
That
MOU has to go way out. That's gonna happen at the end, so that definitely would have to go into the end of 2024, most likely.
Not, the MOU,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically what needs to happen with this is like I said, I thought that the extension was filed with new dates. So I think D would have to reach out to Lawrence and see exactly what he wants on this.
Yeah, and he emailed that yesterday to get the answers today.
Yeah, I guess so. I just saw that it said
Pushing it pretty hard.
So why don't you review what you sent that's currently being approved by the state? And then see where we're missing, like maybe the MSR and stuff, and then you can let him know, and then on next Thursday, we should have a copy of the timeline and go over it and see where we need to adjust things.
I just forwarded you guys that, all of you that, email from Lawrence.
Okay.
Okay, and the MOU, since I'm no longer part of that state update meeting, should definitely be pushed to the very end, because it may even go over to the construction, but right now, it's like one of the last items.
Yeah, it should be one of the last items.
Yeah,
So they're gonna
the reason that this email was confusing me, like I said, is because I thought that an extension was filed with all new dates, so I was just like, what's going on with this?
It was, to my
Well, we
understanding.
requested 6 months.
Yeah, this is a letter that I got that I don't know what content that's for.
Yeah, we requested an extension of the work completion date for the Gulf Reference Consolidation Project to June 30, 2020, from June 30, 2024 to December 31, 2024.
Yeah, it's a problem, because he says on this email that he wants it by the end of today,
Right.
which already happened. He's not in the office, but
Yeah, that's a little short notice.
he said that on Wednesday for today, Wednesday morning.
Wednesday for today. I wasn't even in yesterday.
Yeah, so that's
So,
the
you know,
problem,
I-
because the person that can answer this wasn't even in yesterday, so.
Yeah, you know, I'll do what Brahma suggested. I'll dig into it and we'll have information by next Thursday. So we can discuss it on our meeting.
Yeah, because these dates are wrong, like the
4 o'clock.
MSR date is too early, August 23, that's passed. The MOU is too early, March 24. The
Maybe if you could just, email Lawrence,
sphere of influence.
tell him he wasn't here yesterday and then we're working on it.
I'll do that.
And he has the engineering, the draft engineering report, which is completed, yeah, so he has September 2023 for the final engineering report, which is totally wrong. So, yeah. But I was the one that he told us to hold off on side with the, because it had to go through that extension process.
Well, we already gave the extent, we're still waiting for them.
For them
to
Right.
say, hey, we've extended it 6 months.
Exactly.
I mean, so all we can do is give him new dates. Saying these are pushed out and we're waiting for your approval on the
Yeah.
extension.
Okay, so I guess Dee's gonna look into that, Carlos, and then you guys are gonna discuss it this coming Thursday. Okay, so, that was the 13A we went back to. 13B, there are no budget adjustments at this time, correct?
Well, we submitted that one budget adjustment, but it hasn't been approved yet because he was asking for a new budget. And let me
Correct.
look at, because he was asking why, I mean, I don't know who got the email with this, but he was asking why we were taking money from design. And then so I had to explain to him that that's the only place that we could really take it from, because we're not currently like in the hole in that budget, and we're not currently working on it full blown to where we're going to run out of money on it yet. And I
They
told
made
him
us
that there's a
get-
possibility that we're probably going to run out of budget before we even finish planning. So then he's asking for an updated budget, I guess, as to how much we need and stuff.
You're gonna work on that?
Yep. Yep.
Because he made us get rid of all our contingency when we could have left it in contingency, but they didn't want us to leave it in contingency.
Yeah, but that
Okay,
money
is
in
there anything-
contingency, we still have it, so it's not like it went away, but we're still gonna need more budget somehow.
Think where we put stuff and so, you know,
But the issue is initially they had reduced the project, so it's not enough, and then it's gone on many more years than initially proposed, so.
and there's been inflation, you know, I mean, my God.
Top of it.
So, yeah, so it's the only place we could take money from, but yes, he needs to understand that we're gonna run out of money because it's the only place we could take money from.
So I'm going to, contact Solar and see how we'll have a new schedule. And, I've already contacted, a couple of our consultants regarding a new budget to complete the project. So, that's in the works. So by next Thursday, I'll have it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can go over it with him, so at least, and then he can tell us that we need to submit and ask for more money or.
Yeah.
Or what we can do, I mean. It's kind of unreasonable of the state. We've had so much inflation in the last 2 years. It's killing us.
Okay, so can I move on to item 13C?
Yes.
Discussion vote update on the standby fee assessment and funding. Where are we at with self-help on that?
I submitted it to management for review, so it's, they're reviewing that now, so as long, we'll see how long it takes to get the final product.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Any other questions on that? Okay, 13D, discussion vote on the project technical memo. That has not
It's
changed.
Yeah, it hasn't moved, but I'm shooting for the end of this year. We're really close. I've got everything. I've got some alternatives I'd have to look at and explain, but I've got everything else in place, so I think we're closing in on it.
Okay, item 13E, discussion vote on acquisition development of well number 8 property. We're waiting, we just dealt
did
with the
a
resolutions today,
yesterday,
so
yeah.
that is going to move forward as it moves forward. Item 13F, discussion vote on acquisition development of well number 9. I did see an email from D in regard to that. And that is, needs to be answered by the property owners, which
Yes.
has not been answered to my
Right.
knowledge yet.
So you made the correction, you
Yes,
made corrections that they wanted
yes,
made
yes.
to split up the property.
Yep.
And so is there going to be another meeting with the project ad hoc with them, but we're just waiting on when?
Waiting on when are they available?
Okay,
Sometime next year, probably.
most likely. Okay, anything else on that? 13G, discussion vote on district sphere of influence, that's tabled, and we're not moving forward on that at the moment. Discussion 13H, the MSR, we do have the, all the directors in front of them have the MSR here.
And this has been all the changes that we asked for and that you asked for.
Yes.
Okay.
They should be.
So now go to the
So-
Lake of the
Okay,
Woods.
so at this point, I think we'll review it, but I think we should, at this point, send the MSR to
To Lake of the
the Lake
Woods.
of the Woods for
Okay.
them for review, because they may see something that we didn't see.
So-
Besides theirs, because they're gonna look at their stuff.
So Joan, I'm going to wait now. We're gonna send you the MSR draft as it currently stands. It's dated November 30th, 2023. And we are going to wait for your review to see if you find any additional issues. We're also going to review it again ourselves to make sure that it matches what we had initially asked for. And then we will come together, I believe, I guess we'll have to figure out a date for that. to see if there are any additional changes and submit those before we finalize this.
And
Okay,
can you send
thank
that
you.
to me as well, Lisa?
Can you send that, did you send this to Carlos?
Haven't yet.
Okay, Dee will be sending that to you, Carlos.
Okay.
Knowing that it's a draft, Carlos, and
Still a draft, yes.
Yeah.
because they're reviewing for Lake of the Woods, and we'll review again, not our stuff. So anything you might catch, that would be appreciated.
Okay.
And for Joan and Pam, you want that PDF, Joan?
Joan, do you want that as a PDF?
I would like it into something, sorry, I'm not good technical, something to where I can edit and put it into a copy of my own and make editing changes and things. A PDF, I think, is just a picture of something.
You can comment on the PDFs.
No, only if she has Adobe, like if she has a professional version of it,
Yes.
otherwise you cannot.
It's free.
I don't have any of that. I've
Wow.
got
All right, so
Google.
what do you want? You want paper copy?
If it can come to me in a form of a Google Doc of a document as opposed to a photo.
How about Word, Joan?
Perfect.
What
I
do you
can
have?
transfer
What
things out of Word.
Somehow Google Doc.
Yeah, I know, but Google can. You can do one of two things. You can bring a PDF into Google Docs, although it sometimes changes the formatting, or Google Docs will take a Word doc and generally keep the formatting pretty intact.
And Adobe will go the other way. You can convert now from PDF to Word.
Correct. So,
Why don't-
or if you have Adobe Pro, it will convert. Okay.
Send it
so-
over, and we'll figure out what it is we need to do if we need to do
So
anything.
Dee is going to
Pam-
convert it
Pam
into
might
a
be able to
Word
do.
doc with. Yeah, Dee is gonna convert to a Word doc and that is loadable into Google Docs
Super duper. Thank you.
without losing too much. PDFs are a little weird in Google Docs. Okay, so I am going to move on, if there's no other discussion there, to item 13I, again tabled. It's the MOU that's gonna go towards the end of this project. 13J, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. Joan, you're on. Are there any new changes, updates?
Nothing new moving forward on the line replacement. That's the 3.5. Lawrence asked some more questions about the generator project. We gave him back answers on that. And the design project with the $5 million one, that's moving along really good. Yeah, we're just plugging along, doing our thing.
Okay, thank you, Joan. So last 13K, we're not there yet, correct, Carlos? That's next week. Discussion vote on claims and payments.
Yeah, the only thing that I want to say is that since Lawrence hasn't approved that budget, we don't have money in consolidation engineering.
Okay, well,
So that'll have to wait
we'll
until
have-
we approve it.
Well, then we'll approve it Thursday morning, and then we can have it for Thursday night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if
Yeah, we're
Lawrence
on
approves the budget.
debt schedule, so we have to have everything on Thursday, the 21st, or we'll have to wait until January.
So our meeting is next Thursday at 10 with Lawrence, and so we need to get him to approve it, and then Thursday night, we have our meeting. So I guess when you should maybe put it in this claim. And then we just tell Lawrence, look, we need to submit this claim. We need this approval.
Yeah, I can include them in the claim. It's just whether Lawrence approves the budget adjustment or not.
Right, so it may have to wait if he's not able to do that.
But hopefully I would think by now he would approve it. Jerry will beat him up. He doesn't.
Okay, do we have anything else on that? Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to item 14. So we're not talking about,
No,
threats of.
you know,
I know you're joking.
I'm joking.
Okay, so
me
item
clarify.
14, discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement projects and emergency well supply project. 14A, discussion vote update on well number 7. I believe it's still not capped. Where are we at? We have.
I have a comment about well
General
number 7
manager.
that we need to try to address, since we can't do anything until Lawrence approves the final work. One thing that Carlos CNC brought up at our meeting was he tried to imply that because we didn't put the fence back up, his animals are able to get out. He never had an effective fence there anyway. Our fence was squared off and didn't keep his animals, and there was like a dirt berm with some wood there. His animals have always gotten out. We know from history that horses and cows have gotten out the open front gate many times, but that's what he's saying. So if it's looking like it's still gonna be a while, we may want to buy some temporary fencing or have a company come in and install the temporary fencing over to our property line. But I would like to get, maybe Dee's, surveyor could help us with this. We need to find the point again that our property comes to, because at that end of well 7, it comes to like a triangle. We never fenced that off. We just fenced off square and we still had a triangle left. But we need to find where that point is so we can temporary fence to that point, and then whatever's left for him, he could deal with, because that's one of the things he's trying to throw out there now. He's trying to, any little thing he can, he's trying to blame us and make it look like we're not good neighbors.
Well, I also know, I've seen his goats jump the fence.
No, I mean, he just
There
likes
is
to wander
no
everywhere.
fencing portions of that property.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There never was, except for ours just around our tank site, but he's claiming that he had a fence on that end, which he didn't. So, I probably should just go ahead and call one of the fence companies that can come in and set up a temporary fence, and run it across there. And then that'll keep us out of liability safe. But I do need to have Steve's guy come in and find that point, so I know where the fence is gonna be, because he put up like a plastic fence and tried to take part of our property. So I moved that fence out. Since then, that fence has fallen down, but,
I'm gonna entertain a motion for us to put up temporary fencing. Someone would need to make that motion and to allow these or,
So what
to
kind of
get
cost do
our
we think
engineer.
that'll be to have temporary fencing?
I've never rented a fence before, but I would imagine it's not gonna be,
Cheap.
crazy expensive. I mean,
Couple thousand.
the firewood guy over there that gives us grief all the time, he had temporary fence around his place for years, and I'm sure selling firewood doesn't, merit that. Yeah.
Because we're gonna eat that cost. just
Yes,
so everyone's
Director
aware.
Garcia.
I'd like to move that we allow Johnny to order a temporary fence to delineate our property line after Dee is able to relocate that one angle point that serves as our property termination.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I second it.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 4-0-0, 1 absent. We're directing General Manager Allison to put up some temporary fencing in the correct locations. Okay, based on Dee's
Survey.
survey.
Know where our property line is with them.
14B, discussion vote update on meter replacement project. Dee, is there anything new on that?
Nothing new. It's looking like the grass is gonna be in around February or so. There hasn't been any change to that.
Okay, any other questions on that? 14C, I believe we don't have claims and payouts yet until Thursday. Is that correct, Carlos?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's not you. Okay, so that will be dealt with on the Thursday afternoon or morning meeting for the Thursday evening meeting. Item 14D, discussion about update on bridge loan requests and payments. I don't
Nothing
believe
yet.
we currently have any.
Nope.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion on item 14, I'm gonna move to 15. Item 15, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. 15A, discussion vote on potholing and mapping. That's all completed for the moment. Discussion on 15B, the engineering and design.
It's pretty much done. I think they were 95%. I think really at this point in time, it's, I think Carlos, you need to weigh in on how we're doing for the construction financing.
So has that been uploaded to the application?
Okay, so we're out of order. That, so the engineering and design is 90-something% completed. We're going on to 15C, discussion vote on the engineering contract. Was that completed?
We haven't moved from where we were a week ago or 2-3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
Carlos is supposed to be.
Find out if we needed one with D or just him and self-help needed.
So
one.
I believe, Carlos, there was some question on that, but I believe for the application, we need a engineering contract with D with us, with Fraser Park Public Utility District. For the self-help money, for the TA funds, that is the contract with you, which already exists. So
Yes,
we're
I think,
find
I
out.
think you will need a, I mean, obviously you'll need a contract with D, but that won't happen until the construction funding. But
So that's after the initial approval of the application.
yeah, but we'll talk to Lawrence on Thursday about that as well.
Okay, so if you want to make a note of that, state update people. Okay, so and then 15D, Carlos, if you can tell us where we're at on the discussion vote on the project application. Where are we at on that application?
I couldn't find that email from D that gives me the total sum of money that's going to be needed to complete this project. So I would need D to resend me those figures again, so I can put them on the application. And then I also need what the average water rate is for each meter size. And
D is making his notes even more lengthy.
I think Tiffany or Johnny or somebody was supposed to give me the average rate for customers.
Yeah, me and Tiffany still have to look at that.
And then I will get with D, but I'll need some dates from him as well, as far as when we'll have the 90-something% plans and specs, or when we plan to go out of construction. There's a few dates that I'll need from D, but I'll get with him on that.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Any other discussion on that before we move on to 16? Okay, item 16, discussion vote update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency Allocation to Special Districts Grant. 16A, discussion vote update on the purchase of the generators. They are obviously purchased. We're still waiting on the load banks. We had discussed that previously. And we are,
we're no longer going out to bid.
we're not going out to bid. So discussion about on engineering design and going out to bid. B needs to be changed probably, Tiffany, to just be an update of where we're at on laying gravel, putting the borders, and then getting the load banks.
Well, technically, there's still some engineering, because when we get them in place, D has to come out and verify everything is working the way it's supposed to be.
Right, with the load
right?
bank.
It's still, because I don't know what I'm doing. We had to have an electrical engineer spec out or check the specs, so be nice to have somebody else. do it.
Right,
And,
it needs to be changed.
this is where I say
during-
good night and sorry for the interruption, but I will talk to you guys on
Thank
Thursday.
you, Carlos.
Thank you,
Have
Carlos.
a good,
Okay.
well, we're gonna see
We'll see you
you
next
most likely
week.
next week, so.
Yeah, we'll talk Thursday. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay, so yeah, that could just be changed to reflect just the change in discussion. Okay, anything else on item 16? Item 17, discussion about update on the water tanks repair and or replacement funding, which we did a special meeting, so that's both Joe Manager Allison and
Really, it's typically with the grant, but as far as some of the repairs, for tanks, like I said earlier, we got a tank company coming in looking at us, but
we already got it submitted in time and
Almost.
See, it's done. The good news is done. Curtis responded. He provided a lot of information right on time. I was able to incorporate it into the grant application, which is quite lengthy. It's like 30-something pages of just the grant writing. So,
but it's due tomorrow.
It
correct?
is due tomorrow. I did speak to the representative from Kern County today, and he suggested I both mail it and email it. So tomorrow morning, I'll be in here. I'm gonna do a final, just peruse it for any typos or whatever, make sure everything looks nice and complete, and then I'm gonna take it to the mail it out to him. He said just regular mail's fine, and then also email it to him, and then they'll be able to look over it.
good.
So we'll make the cutoff.
I would
yeah.
still maybe do just it could be regular mail, but just a certificate of mailing so that we have a date of when we mailed it.
And additionally, Curtis, I know how busy he is. When I emailed him and asked him if he could do this, and that there's kind of like the request from Lawrence, like, can it be done by tomorrow? Same kind of thing, but he came through.
He did it.
He did it for us because he
Yeah.
knew.
Sorry.
Very nice of him to do that.
Lisa, can I share some information?
Yes, you may.
Hi, we found out that for us, the county is going to close from December 22nd to January the 3rd. So don't expect a lot of action during that time.
Well, anyway.
And we may, even though we have the application in, because it's this block, right, we may have issues with it anyway, but we really wanted to try to get everything in and see where it goes.
Yeah, it'll be in by their deadline, which was what was important, and then from then it's in their hands to review. It did say, they may ask us to do some additional work for the application, but that would be a good sign because that means.
And then we still need the audit. We gave them an old audit, correct? So we're still waiting on the audit for multiple applications.
I gave them 20 and 21 so that they could have something in hand, and then noted on grant that it's in the hands of our auditors who expect to have it complete in middle of February, is what Scott told me. So, but with them being off, I don't think they're gonna, do any serious looking.
Not
I think that's gonna be an issue for them. I'm hoping. But it's a very thorough, very complete application, so.
Thank you so much.
Fingers crossed.
Good job.
T. Jasper Associates. And our Jeff.
Tiffany gets all the credit for this. She pulled it off, and being sick, she's got to come in tomorrow too, according to finalize it, so.
Yeah, it's been a week because, we had to work with the auditors for 2 full days and cover the front and do this and get ready for a meeting. It was a lot. So I apologize if things fell through the cracks the last couple of weeks,
And
but
watch,
it's been chaotic.
watch the front counter, because we haven't had a billing clerk. We hired the new billing clerk, so now.
When does she start date? I
Probably,
know she's been coming in and
probably
out.
today. I wanted to actually start her from October 4th, because she worked 3 weeks straight, off for a minute, filled in a couple of times, but, we have to do the probation period, so I put the official start date as of, did I tell you?
December 5th.
Yeah, December 5th.
Yeah, but she's now fully up there.
That's full-time right now, so.
So she's taking over. It's just, of course, she's still learning and I still have to do a lot of training.
A 60-day probation period. and stuff.
Normal.
But yeah, so anytime she has to train somebody, it takes twice as much time for Tiffany to do her job and.
Okay, so we're off. I know we're discussing it, but, I
Out of order.
do think that we need to put that on, when we get to future agenda items, because there were some discussion about additional, checks and balances we might need, so you may want to add that to an agenda for some point. I'm not sure when.
Some point.
Soon.
Okay.
Actually, Scott felt like you guys were so proactive in overlooking all the finances that he felt like that was the check and balance that. We continue to check the reports that I get every month to make sure there's nothing unusual. You guys continue doing your checks and then that would suffice.
Not for the front desk.
Huh?
Not for the front desk.
So that's what we're talking about is that.
Yeah, I don't think that we need a
That's-
procedure in place.
That's why I'm suggesting it be on the agenda, just, we
Or
can't.
that's what Scott.
We're
said.
out of order and we can't discuss it right
Right.
now. We're on item 17, which is discussion vote. of
Lee,
the
you're
water
welcome
tanks.
to,
Stay, but
stay, but you're welcome also to leave if you want to get on the road.
Well, I think I'll take
Get the
advantage
heck
of
out of here.
Get on home to mama.
yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for coming in person. Dee.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here in person.
Yeah, your
It was
input
helpful.
was,
Well, it's good to see that, I see.
Yeah,
that
once
on
in a while.
video, but I don't never see you either, so.
Yeah.
Quick question, since Dee's gonna be leaving us, do we want to take a brief recess, 10 minutes for a bathroom or anything, or move on?
Move on.
Okay, so thank you, Dee. And I am going to move on to item 18. Discussion vote on rotating board positions per resolution FP 2019-0214-01. Yes, it's per that resolution, but isn't it a new resolution each time? So isn't that date of
It's
2019 wrong?
It's not a new resolution. That just sets up the procedures for rotating. So the only resolution that changes is after you rotate the bank.
Is the bank resolution,
Yeah.
okay.
But that'll happen after.
Okay, so we're on item 18, and the way that this has worked in the past is that we go from the board position 1, that's the first person, I believe, that
you talk about seat one?
seat 1, and then,
That's me.
okay, so C1 is currently in the position of secretary. You've been in that position for how long?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, so position of secretary would rotate. So we need to go through from board 2, 3, 4, 5 to see if someone is willing to take secretary.
Correct.
I mean, I'm 3, I could do secretary because I have to take out a treasurer.
Okay,
So who's C2? Is that Rebecca?
that's Rebecca.
She's
She's
live.
absent. Okay, so then, is there any issue with having Director Nyman take the position of secretary? I haven't done this for a while, so am I being right? I think so.
I think we're good.
Okay, so we are going to rotate Director Nyman into secretary, and then we get to start this all over again. So we can't go by board 2, seat 2, because seat 2 is not here, but seat 2 is currently president, so we do need to rotate. She did it for how long?
2 years.
2
Every
years.
year.
Okay. First 2, does it go back to 1 or does it go to 3?
It would go to 3 because it came from our.
Okay, so it came from 2. So 3 has already moved into secretary, so then it would go to seat 4.
No, he's treasurer, so Sonny's gotta take treasurer.
No, he took secretary, so.
No, we're on president right now. We're on board seat 2. So board seat 2 is president. We're going to ask board seat 3, but board seat 3 has already taken secretary, so then it would move to board seat 4. I'm willing to do president if you want me to do that on board seat 4.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
And I, asked a question, Eric, we just changed that one thing where you were gonna sign it as vice president.
it still would be. Because this wouldn't happen until January.
January regular meeting, they
Yeah.
begin there.
Never mind.
Good point, though. Okay, so are there any issues with, me? I didn't hear any issues, no issues? Okay, so then board seat number 2 is no longer, is going to vacate president, and president is going to become board seat number 4. Okay, so now we're on board seat number 3. Board seat number 3 was treasurer. We're going to go to board seat number 4. I've already taken president. I cannot take treasurer, so then we're going to go to board seat number 5. Board seat number 5.
I'll take treasurer.
Okay, board seat number 5 is willing to take treasurer. Are there any issues with board seat number 5 taking treasurer? Okay, so be it. And then board seat number 5 was JPIA representative. Oh, no, wait, are we on? No, we're on vice president, because we just did 3, right?
Right.
So, blah, blah, blah. So, we're on vice president. So board seat number 4 is vice president. I am vacating vice president to become president. Is there, and then, we've already filled position 3, which is the treasurer, so then it would rotate to 1. So, Director Garcia, are you interested in being vice president?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so Director Garcia, which is board seat number 1, will become vice president. And is there any issue with that?
No.
Okay, so now we are on board seat number 5 was JPIA representative. That is vacated because board seat number 5 became treasurer. So that would go to normally to board seat number 1. Board seat number 1 is taken vice president. So now we're on board seat number 2. Not sure how to do this because board seat number 2 is absent.
She's the only one left to even
Right,
take
so
it.
she would take JPIA if she's able to take that. So we'll do that at another meeting, I believe.
Well,
But
no,
We'll move her in because.
we'll move her.
can we move her in as the rotation? Okay, so she would move into JPIA representative unless she's unable to do that. There's no issues with that.
No.
Okay, so we have,
If you're not here, tag, you're it.
yes, we have officially rotated the board positions for this next year per resolution FP 2019-0214-01. And we are done with that item.
I think since she's not here, we should put her in treasurer.
Yeah, because she has too many issues.
So, okay, we are now on, item 19, discussion vote on the quote for office cleaning.
Okay, we've, done without, somebody cleaning the office for a number of years now. Nothing's getting done great. Today it was done pretty good because I'm trying to get it set up to where we could have a cleaning lady come in and maintain it. I've got a quote from cleaning lady that I thought was expensive until I checked around, and it turns out that all of them want a bunch of money now. And this one is licensed or insured and got an actual business. So she wants, I think it's at 160.
Yeah, I think it was 160.
160 to come in, she's gonna come in every 2 weeks, and it's $160 every 2 weeks. So 300 and 320 a month. She's supposed to do, baseboards and floors and kitchens and
Everything.
windowsills and, do a real
Bathrooms.
real good cleaning. And, I think it's time that we actually need to do that, at least try it out and see how it goes, temporary basis.
She be a month to month, or does she want a contract?
Well, I wouldn't give her a contract
Until we've had her for,
until I know what's going on.
Right.
Because,
Everyone
contracts.
gets snookered.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, there's oftentimes I feel embarrassed to have people even come into the office. The way it looks with stains and all that stuff, so anyway, it's up to you guys.
Okay, I will entertain a motion on that, suggestion that we retain this person on a temporary basis to see how it goes. And then we can discuss further if we would like.
Everyone's staring at me. I guess I'll move that we hire, I don't even know the company's name.
I don't know her name either, and I didn't bring the quote here. I can probably figure it out, but you can just say cleaning lady, it wouldn't even necessarily have to be named what cleaning lady, just approving a cleaning person to come in.
For the amount.
So if it didn't work out, we could change to a different person, and that way you don't have to change it every time. Oh, her name is Brandy Moore. Actually. For bi-weekly
Ring a bell with anyone? Bell with anyone?
Says for bi-weekly cleaning service, it will be $160 each time. This is my minimum. I charge a flat rate for consistent cleaning jobs. This includes scrubbing bathrooms, scrubbing kitchen area, disinfecting door handles, dusting furniture, door frames, fans, taking out trash, vacuuming, mopping, and I bring all supplies. I am open to sending a monthly invoice via email. Which, another point to point out, most of the other cleaning ladies
Want cash.
they want cash, and we can't pay cash because we have 1099 people. So that's an issue as well.
Is that 160 for how many hours?
They don't even give you that option anymore. None of the cleaning ladies do. They give
160 for the whole job.
They give you the job, and so it's gonna be 160 to come in and do all that she just named that she's gonna do. If she does it in 2 hours, or she does it in 6 hours, it's still 160. And I found that out with the last person I tried.
She come in by herself, or she got a partner, or what? You're hiring a company.
Yeah, I don't know this lady.
How'd you get referred, or what?
He said about her.
I heard about her. She's in Pine Mountain Club. She's new. She's from Bakersfield, but she had a business in Bakersfield.
And apparently her husband does some kind of handyman stuff, so they're working together doing stuff, so.
It's an LLC, which I don't know much about.
Limited liability.
Corporation.
It's just that if you get sued, they can't take your home or your car, and the business has to pay for it. It gives you a layer.
But if we have an issue, they're not just, they're.
Well, they're established as a
Insurance.
business, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Because we've done some people that aren't really businesses, and that's gotten a little iffy, right? Sometimes, or no?
No, it's never gotten iffy, but we have historically around here used people that weren't businesses. The cleaning lady for years when I started here.
Raise your price,
Not a business.
never know. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree on the temper, we see how it goes, and if it's like, if the person comes in and charges 160 and doesn't actually do what they're saying, then we go for somebody else. Or if we don't find someone else, then we have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we, try out Brandy Moore. With the amount of 160 bi-weekly.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion seconder, any other discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg, I'm an aye, and, that's 4. Director Gibson's absent, that's 4, 0, 0, and 1 absent.
21, 22.
Okay, so item 20 is tabled, item 21 is tabled, item 22, discussion and vote on reforming the quarterly financial standing committee.
Because isn't the quarterly Becky and you?
Yes,
So,
and we'll meet again in January.
right.
I probably need to abstain from that because I'm currently on it, but I would
I'm gonna
suggest that we.
say, wait. Wait, and if needed, Director Kelly can substitute. And we'll bring it up again next month.
So I would entertain a motion to table it for the moment. Right now, it can
I
be
make a
covered.
motion that we table, number 22, and that Director Kelly can fill in for the quarterly
If she's willing.
if Director Gibson isn't available.
And she's been doing it, so she knows how to do everything.
Do you know the date? January what?
It's the third Tuesday.
I have it written down because I think I stopped writing them after this year.
Gotta check again.
Oh, yeah, no, I do have it. It's the third Tuesday at 11 o'clock. The 16th.
Yeah, it's not too early in the year and you get a couple weeks of.
Is there a second for that table?
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an, well, I don't have to abstain on the table, is an aye. And, that is, no Director Gibson, she's absent, that is 4-0-0 with one absent.
Good job. You started to go waver a little bit, but you pulled it back together.
Yeah, I'm starting to get tired, okay. Item number 23, discussion vote on a taco truck meal for the district holiday party.
Apparently, I had some discussion with Johnny. Apparently, that was a hit last year. To those of
And
you.
not
you
super
were come.
expensive, right?
Worked out well, the board approved, I think last year, 250. I ended up throwing in 50 myself to get what we had wanted, just tacos and bag of chips and stuff. So this year I'm asking that you guys up it to 3. And then we'll try to have it on, Wednesday. Date did we talk about?
The 20th would have.
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 20th, if they could get it
Didn't we
ready.
bring in, people brought a couple things too, like guacamole.
If they
or
wanted.
something,
Yeah, everybody still can bring in
Okay.
whatever they want to,
Okay.
well. But that, got us, it was a nice laid back, no stress deal.
And it's all here, so we control the atmosphere, we control the.
And you're gonna have chicken?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah, cause
Go ahead,
last
Nick.
year I did half chicken and half beef
yeah, okay.
for you, and then, and you know, everybody likes it, and it seemed to really work out well. And then people can bring who they want to, you know, and it's no stress.
So I make a motion, that we approve the taco truck, holiday party for the 20th and, or whatever date,
Is that the date?
yeah,
December 20th.
this December 20th.
Yeah, as
And,
long as taco truck can comply.
and that, we spend no more than 300
At what time?
Do it around, I don't know, noon.
Lunch.
around them.
Okay.
Is there a second?
You got done?
I'll second that.
Go away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they usually go at 11, but they could put it off an hour.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. So we have, any more discussion? I'm sad because I forget a CT appointment, so that won't work. Okay, so Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Killing.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is an aye. So that motion passes 4-0-0-1 absent. That is for the taco truck for $300 for the district holiday party. Okay,
And just a side note, next month, I will try to be on the 21st. I'll need somebody to fill in for the state update meeting.
the 21st is not
I mean,
Sunday.
I'm sorry,
The
wait a
18th.
second. Oh, no, I can do that meeting. But on the 25th of January is the board meeting. I will try to attend by Zoom if I can. Well, I don't think I can.
No, you won't.
I
You won't be able
won't be able to,
You won't be
because
able
I'll
to.
be in Mexico.
Mexico.
And
So-
who knows where in Mexico?
So we just need to know that we may be short 2 directors, so the rest of us hopefully.
So
need
you
to
three
be
have
here.
to be here.
Yes. Director Garcia,
The 25th, I should,
no,
yeah, I should be here.
okay,
Honey, we have been besieged by deaths in the
oh, I
family.
know, I'm just
And
saying that he's gonna be gone and there's a good
two-
chance
2
Director
months
Gibson will still
It's
be gone.
crazy, and they're younger than me, and it's
Ugh.
like, it's bringing back my mortality, put it right in my face, so, I'm like. But God forbid any of that continues to happen, yeah, I'll be here in January.
If we can, anybody can't make it for whatever reason, we need to let Tiffany know ahead of time because she'll have to figure out arrangements for a quorum. Because
Yeah.
we may not have a quorum, It's a possibility.
I can't Zoom from Mexico.
Whereabouts?
Mexico City.
God,
Month-
that's
month-
good stuff, huh?
January
How long you gonna be?
10 days.
25th, but I mean, he doesn't know if he's gonna be sightseeing somewhere. Or, yeah, I mean, who knows where he might be. Can't put that on the agenda.
Muy poquito.
Government's in Mexico, you can't just put that.
Okay. That's tabled. The minutes are tabled. We're not gonna be doing the minutes until this next time.
Yes.
So we are on item 25, discussion vote for future agenda items. Are there any
That's why
future agenda items we have not discussed? Anything else? Okay, well then I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, so the time is 8:16. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, so motion is seconded. I will call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent, Director Schoenberg is an aye. It's 8:17 actually right now, so that motion passes 4-0-0, 1 absent. And this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Joan.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Next
Bye.
week,
See you next week. See you next week.